What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something awesome. I like these Americans waking up and figuring out that there's definitely other countries that might suit them better kind of mentality. Why the new American dream is to leave America. My life in the Netherlands. Get over show. It's Sky. All the love in the world. We're already subbed up. We've already smashed the like button. Let's go on the journey. See what we got. I've heard some things myself from a lot of Americans since I've been back. But let's see what the let's see what the point of it is.
I have been living in the Netherlands for about 3.5 years now, and
3.5 years is a good long time. Might not be a reason to go back.
Every time I go back to America, one of the biggest things I hear about is how the new American dream is to leave America. For example, this was when I was in Atlanta. I met this cop, and now I did not put this in the vlog, but I met this cop, and he told me that his biggest regret in life was not leaving America.
But that's like a typical thing that you don't figure it out until you're older. Like, man, I should have left my hometown. My hometown right here is like a magnet, a really strong magnet. If you was born here, you either get out around the high school time frame or you end up staying here. Like a lot of the people that I knew are still here. A lot of my family has been here forever. They just stay here for some reason. I don't get it. I had to get out. I had to fly away for a while and go live abroad in foreign countries and figure my way through life, figure out what I was trying to do. I knew that the world was a lot bigger than only America. The military helped me do a little bit of traveling afterwards. Like, get out there and see some things. Learn some things. Don't just listen blindly to everything that the American media tells you or that the American politicians tell you about us being the greatest country in the world. That's a very, very opinionated statement. Especially when you look at some of the ways other countries might possibly have it better. And I love America. I do. I wouldn't have gave her 12 years of my life if I didn't care about America. I'm saying that we get lured into this false sense of like super pride. We're the greatest country in the world. There's even people that travel to other places and they end up being these royal dickheads because you go there with this mentality that, hey, no, I'm from America. I'm the dude. No, it doesn't work like that. Most of the rest of the world is not looking forward to moving to America. At least not anymore. It may have been at one point, but now all of the people I know in other countries said that they would never move here ever. And a lot of Americans are looking to get out. A lot of Americans are looking to go somewhere where healthcare is still about healthcare instead of money, where there's so many different things and reasons. But we got a whole bunch of people that are just so caught up in their head that this is the best place in the world. How about you try checking out some of the rest of the world before you make statements like that?
And now look, this is not a diss track towards America or nothing like that. I have lived
all
in America like pretty much my whole life. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I lived in Atlanta. I've also lived in LA for a long period of time. And I go back literally to LA, Detroit, as well as Florida, maybe, I would say almost every year. And look, I'm gonna be real. Every time I go back, I get so excited. I'm excited to see friends, I'm excited to see family, but also too, every time I go back, it does make me feel some type of way. Like I'm a little bit more on edge. I'm also a little bit more aware of what's going on around me, as well as like my kids and what's going on around them as well. Which basically brings me to my first point of what I've been hearing about why people have been wanting to leave America, and that is they don't feel safe. I can say that every time I do travel to America, everyone, the first thing they say is literally, yo, you better be careful out there. And it's like, it don't even matter where I'm going. The first thing they say, like, look, it's bad. Like,
it's totally,
and again, it's
because it's true. Especially in a lot of these hotspot places. It's very, very, very true. I wasn't back home from Thailand for 2 weeks. And a lady in the city right next door to mine got her head cut out with a katana in her front yard. It's bad. Turn on the police scanner. They'll give you 100 million reasons a day why somewhere safer would probably be better.
This is like, no matter where I go, I hear the exact same thing. But then I go, and I'm hugging the block, whether it's in Atlanta, Detroit, LA, Florida. It's not that bad. I mean, I've even been back to Chicago, and now look, turn me up a bit because look, I am not going back to the hood where I grew up. Nah, that's just ain't no point. So
you got out, man. Stay out.
I did my nickel I ain't going back. There's just certain places I will not go. But I do see what people are saying when I do go to these places. Like, it doesn't feel the same. Like, it doesn't feel safe. And it's a weird thing, too, because it's not that, I mean, I know crime is high, but crime is high everywhere because of the times that we in. But there's something else about it that just doesn't make you feel safe. You could go to safe places and still feel like it's not safe, especially in the States. And that's a weird feeling, but I think I know why. Because I think it has to do a lot with infrastructure and the way the States is kind of laid out. And I believe, perfect example is like, you will never find a cafe in a neighborhood. Like, I've talked about this so many times. You could be walking the neighborhood and you just won't find it unless you're like downtown or midtown or somewhere in the city. But majority of people don't live in the heart of cities or midtown. So when you don't have that sense of community, I feel like it just hits different. Plus, you're spending all your time in a car. You're basically isolating yourself. So you're in a big old house, in a car most of the time, and then you go to work. You're isolated from just normal people. And then
not only that, but we are so security mindset now because of all of the craziness that's going on. I live in California, so it's a lot of crazy going on. I'll say that up front. It's definitely not the same hometown that I grew up in. Poverty's at an all-time high. Crime is at an all-time high. It's crazy the things that's going on. People just getting a slap on the back of their hand and released. I hear it all the time about how there's no justice anymore in California. That's debatable. Everything is debatable. Like I said, this is definitely not against America whatsoever. It's against this crazy mindset that we have. We are so security mindset that we think everybody's out to get us. And that damn divides us up even more because we don't want to talk to strangers because a stranger might be somebody bad.
On the flip side of that, though, you also have the news, which is just freaking terrible. Like, these people in America are so afraid of everything. And it's because you look at the news, it all makes sense. Everybody's afraid of everybody else. But what's crazy is when you go and you just spend a day outside in some of these places. I mean, not the hood of Chicago pimping, not the hood. But if you just go and spend the day in a lot of these places, a lot of people are genuinely nice. But you will never get that when you're watching the news. And now you do get a different vibe when it comes to like small towns, which is super nice. Like, I love that about small towns. But most areas, not so much. And I do want to say this because I want to make myself clear. I'm not saying that America is super safe. Look, I know it is not that safe. But what I'm saying is when you throw in the combination of the media as well as not knowing anybody, like not knowing your community that you're living in, it makes it a lot worse.
We're terrified of everything. We're terrified of the things the news has to show us. People are hypochondriacs now thanks to all of the pharmaceutical commercials that come on literally every 2 minutes. Talk to your doctor today if you have these side effects. You might need this medication. All it's doing is making us all crazy. The shit's illegal in the rest of the world, so why is it allowed here?
I think today we were pulling up in Animax to grab a coffee and get this middle segment, because I think the next one's pretty good. Plus, I like Animax. And another reason that was brought to my attention of why Americans are leaving or want to leave America had to be the cost of living, because, yeah, it's kind of going up. And I'm not even gonna lie, man, when I was just there, I would say when I was back in Atlanta as well as in Florida, two places that are not really known for being super expensive, I ain't gonna lie, man, just for a couple of things, it was expensive. I mean, for example, just in Atlanta, I remember going into a Quick Trip, and Quick Trip is like, it's fairly cheap. It's basically like a 7-Eleven, right? I remember going into this Quick Trip, and I don't know how, but I ended up spending maybe $15. And I didn't even buy that much. I bought like some gum, some waters, and something else. And maybe like a Red Bull and a coffee or something like that. And it was like $15. Also, not to mention, they had the audacity to ask me for a tip, which
Yeah, a whole bunch of places over here asking you for tips. Random places. It's just like, that's the program. Go ahead. And it automatically pops up. Do you want to give 15, 20, or 25? No.
I still don't understand this. Quick side note, I will say, look, I do feel like the tipping culture in America has gotten out of hand. Like,
Way
I don't know what y'all do. Look, I would leave America for that. No, seriously though, I do think that just overall, I do think that, yeah, the rising cost and inflation, I mean, especially over the years, because even when I was living in LA before I moved here, the cost of living was going up. But I mean, again, I was straight. Like, I was good with money. I told y'all how I'd be spending my money. So I was good with money. I was good with my savings. So yeah, I'm Gucci. So I can't imagine though, people who are not in my position where they're working one job and basically just living paycheck to paycheck, which I've kind of noticed is a theme in the States. Is
a super theme.
A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not a financial advisor. All I'm saying, coming from somebody who used to be poor, look, I did my nickel, I ain't going back. I will say, watch how you spend your money. That's the best advice I can give. Watch how you spend your money, because look, paycheck to paycheck that's not the best idea. But now coming back from a person who was living in LA, an expensive city, I can see how the rising cost of living can throw people off, especially the way America is designed. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It's a big trap for spending money.
Everything here costs
even joking. If you just
ridiculous
take a step
amounts
back and look at it for what it is, they are trying to get you to spend money left and right. And a lot of people don't have that discipline. And to be honest, ain't nobody there to help you or teach you. You just gotta do it yourself. You gotta learn yourself. That is just just coming from a poor person, like somebody who used to be poor. But the reason I say this is because after living here for like 3+ years now, I'm starting to see that the culture here is very different. Like, they don't even have credit card scores. Like, a lot of people don't. I would say 90% of people here do not use credit cards. I mean, now I could be totally wrong. It could be maybe 80%. But what I'm saying is that's not the culture here. The culture doesn't revolve around buying things on credit. I don't know everything. I've only been here, again, like a little over 3 years. But I can say a lot of people here don't use credit cards, and you don't have to tip. Like, even when you go to a restaurant, no matter what restaurant you go to, you don't have to tip. And now what is interesting though too is that even here, the cost of living has gone up over the years. I've only been here a little over 3 years, but I have seen the rise in cost of living. The only difference is the credit card culture and like the debt culture is not the same. It is not like in America. A lot of kids aren't coming out of school with a large amount of debt. That's just not, it's just not a thing here. It's not like their education is worse than over there. It's just that they don't have a large amount of debt. And then the people don't use credit cards here. That's just the culture. Both places have a rising cost of living.
Super intriguing.
But I feel like Americans get hit harder because a lot of people are already in a hole because of the American culture of using a lot of debt. Versus again here, the cost of living hurts, but people are not in holes already. I mean, if nothing, these bars used to be $1.50. Now they're almost €3. And now another quick side note, one of the things that trips me out every time I go back to the States is taxes on when you buy stuff. That is a trip. Now, if you don't know this, I don't know if you guys know, but if you don't know, when you buy something here, you buy it at the price that the taxes are already included. You buy it, those are the taxes, that's it.
That's such a better way to do it. Here, you end up paying so much more when you get up to the register. You can't even figure things out.
And now look, I don't think I've ever told this story, but back when I lived to LA, back when I first moved to LA, I drove there by myself from Atlanta, and I went there and I already had an apartment. I didn't get the apartment, but I had the apartment. I mean, I had great credit. Everything was in order. There was no way I was not getting this apartment. And man, long story short, I got all my stuff in this truck, just drove all the way from Atlanta to LA, get to my apartment, and it turns out I did not get the apartment. And now this turned out to be a huge mistake. And what had ended up happening was I had ended up putting all of my stuff in storage while I waited for this to get sorted out. And look, no joke, I was putting all my stuff in storage by myself. And I realized that I just had so much stuff. And man, this was the worst feeling I've ever had. I don't even know where all this stuff came from. I moved by myself and I had so much stuff. For one person, it looked like I had moved for a family of 5. And the moment I got rid of all of that crap, I felt so much better. Which brings me to another reason that I've been hearing why people wanna leave America. And that is consumer overload. And now what's so funny is that I remember when I went to Germany back in 2009, I noticed that people were a lot happier with a lot less. And I think this says a lot and is so true about just people in general. People don't need a lot of stuff, but
here in America, they got you buying everything, and everything has different brands, and there's so many different. Who the hell needs to choose from 400 different boxes of cereal on the shelf when they all have the same damn ingredients? In a lot of ways, it is definitely consumer overload. Buy this now. Oh, you don't have the money? Don't worry. We'll give you a damn credit card. Don't worry. We'll let you pay for it in increments. It's so to the point where people are just spending money that they don't even have. You got to ask yourself, do I want it? Yes. Can I afford it? If it's yes, then okay, go ahead and do it. If it's no, then if it's not a necessity, a lot of Americans ain't in the place where they can do that. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, busting their asses to barely get by.
In the States, you are a part of this consumer culture, which also goes back to a video that I made a while back of why I ain't never going broke. Like I said, people have spending problems, and it's their fault, but it's not their fault. It's the culture. We are used to spending money. That's just a fact. But on the other hand, what you'll notice with a lot of other cultures, like Asian cultures and European cultures, is that just take something like the refrigerator, for example. They are not these massive things because no one needs that amount of food, especially in America where nothing goes bad. You don't need to be stacking up on a lot of food. I'm just keeping it real. I mean, don't get me wrong, you need food to live, but do you need this massive refrigerator that can barely fit through your door? No, you don't. And you realize that quick when you just go out and travel and you see how other countries live. You see other cultures and how people do things. That also ties into the overconsumption, because what ends up happening is you get all this space, all these big things, and then turns out you don't really need it. It just weighs you down. And again, I don't mean not to have things that you need, but I'm just saying you don't need a lot to live. And matter of fact, I still feel like I have too much stuff, but I actually don't. Compared to everybody back in the States, I don't have nowhere near as much as them. But something that I have noticed is that a lot of people are waking up from this, and they don't want this culture anymore. They don't want to keep spending money on all these things or feeling like they have to spend money to have all these things. But it's such a trick, because remember, with the big refrigerator, you gotta fill it up. With the garage and the big house, you gotta fill it up. And that's what I'm saying. That's the trip. The culture is just, I think people are just so tired of this overconsumption culture that I think that's another reason why people want to leave America. Because having all this stuff, you feel like you're trapped. I mean, that's how I felt when I had all this stuff and I was putting it in the storage unit when I moved to LA. I felt trapped and I felt held down by just stuff that didn't even matter. And I thought
my mother was the same way. She was paying $400 a month on a storage unit for 20 years. Maybe more than 20 years. Since we moved into the house, we just got everything out of storage not that long ago, the end of last year. And it's in the garage now. So that's the one less bill that we have. But it's so true. Even moving to Thailand, I lived there for 8 years. The refrigerator was so small, but you know what? It still held all of the things that you needed to eat. You didn't need all of the extra produce and all of these boatloads of things. We don't need to buy everything in bulk. But everybody does. Why? Because, they make it seem cheaper when you buy in bulk. But you're buying a bunch of stuff that you don't need. You're buying excess food. We got a severe obesity problem in America. There's all kinds of things that are stacked against you. The chips are just stacked against you while you're here. And I feel like everybody is always too damn busy to do anything. Everybody's either got to go to work, they got to be over here, they got to do this or that or this or that, and nobody has anything scheduled. It's just all kind of up in the air.
Those are my thoughts on why I think a lot of people want to leave America. But I mean, I would love to hear yours. For real, let me know in the comments below. For real. Is there somebody behind me? Oh, yeah, pulling up quick. I was about to say, you don't want no problems, Y'all know I'm on edge. I was just talking about being in America, so I'm on the edge. Nah, but let me know what you guys think.
They be fighting no people in the park.
I would love to know. Again, I've been living here. Oh, wow. It's going on 4 years. 4 years. I mean, not quite 4 years, about 3.5. But wow, I've been living here so long. And the more and more I live here, the more and more I learn. And what's crazy is, I'll be honest, I'm gonna just say this before I let y'all go. The longer you live like out of the country that you're from, you learn more about the country. Like I've been
Yes, because you get to look at it from an outsider's perspective.
learning so much
True.
about where I come from and myself than like I was when I was there. It's a weird thing. I think it's one of those things where if you're just too close to the elephant, you kind of can't see it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is something else. Like again, America's a great country. The Netherlands is a great country. Europe, yeah, in general, it's just an amazing place to live. Also, Asia, like, just get out and you'll see what I'm talking about. But those are my reasons I think a lot of Americans want to leave. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. And I gotta throw this out there. Everywhere has problems, so you gotta remember that. Anywhere you go, you're gonna have some problems there too. But I love living here. My kids love it here. My wife loves it here. We love traveling. We always love traveling. But yeah, we're just figuring it out just like everybody else. And yeah, I'll be honest, I'll be back in the States not soon-ish, but pretty soon. I should be back in the States pretty soon. But yeah, this has just been like just a trip, like for real. So I would love to know what you guys think down below. Thanks so much for watching it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I enjoyed making it. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget, it ain't over until we win. All right, I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, 100% get over and show It's Sky all the love in the world. A lot of very, very valuable, relevant information. That's what I gotta say. It's very, very true. I've met countless Americans that say, I wish that I could leave, or I can't wait to get out of here. And it shouldn't be that way, because there is so much opportunity for amazing things to happen in America. It has the possibility to be truly freaking fantastic again. But we've let everything go to money. We've let everything go to greedy ass politicians. We've let a whole bunch, it's like the whole way of life is completely changed from what it was when we were kids. It's not the same happy place. I don't understand how my city keeps getting, the best place to live in California. I'm calling bullshit. I'm saying that the people that say that have never actually been to the city. I do not hate America. I love America. I wish to see her better. I wish to see her healed from a lot of things that we've been putting her through. But there's too much of a divisive nature, too much of this hateful culture now. Everybody's just on edge. Everybody hates everybody for some kind of reason. You don't fit in this little box that I'm in, so you guys can just stay out of there. It's a crazy mentality. Definitely get out and go exploring. If you feel any sense that you feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else, I say make the jump, even if it means having to get rid of some possessions to do it. You shouldn't feel trapped in the place that you were born or in the place that you grew up. The whole world is out there waiting for you. Just because someone else discovered it doesn't mean that you can't as well. Get over, show It's Sky, all the love of the world. Smash the like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Tell the next one about the Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. I love you to the moon and back. Peace.